Hi, I'm Karen with a Y. Much like Anne Shirley of Green Gables is Anne with an E, that Y is very important to me. It was a gift from my mother. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my journey into the writing of the book, Green Gables Grief Counseling, Children's Literature to Help Heal the Hearts of Adult Motherless Daughters. This began as a reading project. I am a group facilitator and a teacher by profession, and I had set out to read all the books that had won the Newbery Medal, dating back to 1922 when that medal was first awarded. About 10 or 15 books into this process, I was very aware that I was reading an inordinate number of stories featuring young protagonists whose mothers were dead or who were orphaned altogether. And this took me aback for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I was identifying intensely with these young people, even at my current age. My own mother died when I was 9 years old and she was 36. Secondly, it called into question a story I'd been telling myself for most of my life, which was that I had been very alone in that experience of early mother loss. In the United States, 5.7% of children lose their mothers before they're 15 years old. In a classroom of 20 students, that's approximately 1. In my 4th grade classroom, I was that one. The only other children I knew whose mother had died were my 2 siblings. This created a profound sense of isolation that was exacerbated by the lack of an emotionally available adult in my life. From the time my mother died, my father emphasized the importance of moving on. When I mentioned her, he would say, "You can't go back." Without a supportive adult in their lives, motherless daughters often learn to suppress their feelings. I learned pretty quickly not to talk about my mother or her death. There was simply no one to talk to. The years following my mother's death were wildly traumatic, as is often the case in the lives of young families who experience that kind of loss. When I talk about those years as an adult, I'm frequently asked how it was that I was okay, how it is that I am okay, and until I embarked on this reading project, I really never had a complete answer to that question. What I discovered was that these books were the reason I was okay. Because I was a reader as a child, I had not been nearly as alone in my experience of early mother loss as I had believed. Over 35% of the young protagonists in books that have won the Newbery Medal are motherless. Had they been my classmates in 4th grade, there would have been 7 of us. Beyond that, so much of the very best children's literature features young people whose mothers have passed. These characters are models of resilience and perseverance and the ability to do so much more than just survive without their mothers. Their stories, their courage, their sense of adventure inspired awe and hope in me. They showed me what was possible. Children's literature goes directly to the heart of the matter often being the heart. These books gave me access to emotions I otherwise suppressed. They elicit laughter and tears in a way that feels safe and gentle and non-threatening. I have sometimes imagined my adult self facilitating a bereavement group for children, and my younger self, that child I carry within, participating in that group. She would be seated in a circle surrounded by her peers, who would include Anne of Green Gables and Mary Lennox of The Secret Garden and Sarah Crewe of The Little Princess and Harry Potter and Maniac McGee and Nancy Drew and James and His Giant Peach. And together, through the sharing of their stories, they would feel the support and connection and comfort that comes from having that kind of shared experience. In addition, their sense of belonging, their courage, their perseverance, their resilience, their hope, all those qualities that are so important in the lives of those of us who must navigate the world without our mothers in it, would be enormously strengthened. And that is exactly what can happen for adult motherless daughters who immerse themselves in these stories. I wrote Green Gables Grief Counseling with the intention of helping adult motherless daughters take a deep dive into this magical genre of literature. It is truly a treasure trove of self-help for us, hidden in plain sight. Thank you so much.